So I'm Tim Crosland, I'm a lawyer, I'm a barrister, I do legal work with Extinction Rebellion and also with the climate litigation charity Plan B, which takes legal action against the government for its criminal inaction on the climate and ecological crisis. My notion as a lawyer of justice starts with the most basic principle, not just for humanity, but for all life, which is the right to life and the right to defend life. An inalienable right that we can never trade away without trading away what it is to be human, what it is to be alive. And so when we see a political and economic system that doesn't respect the lives of our brothers and sisters, what that's telling us is this is a political and economic system that doesn't respect any of our lives. And the minute we allow ourselves to be complicit in that lack of care for the lives of any of our brothers and sisters, we're complicit in our own destruction.
My name's Skeena, Rathor, and I am a founding member of the Guardianship and Visioning Circle for Extinction Rebellion. And I've been a campaigner since I was 15 years of age. So it's a really important question when you ask, what does social justice mean? To me, because it's meant so much since I was a very young person. I think that as I've grown in the work, and especially understanding how everything is interconnected and interdependent, what I understand by social justice now is actually how it is part of something much greater that is about us finding out what our needs are, demanding our needs actually, and telling the truth about our needs and demanding that the world that we live in, trusting that the world that we live in can meet those needs. So it feels as if what's happened over the course of decades around issues of justice, particularly social justice, is actually it's further divided us and splintered energy that we've needed to stand together. And also it's been a level of conversation that removes itself again from the humanity of needs. As a human being, what is it that I need? And what is it that I can rely on? And what is it that I am absolutely able to receive and give? And the other thing about social justice is just that, is that there's an interplay between us being able to give and receive. And often that aspect is left outside of that conversation, because I know I'm at my most powerful when you recognise that I am an essential part of what you need and that you are an essential part of what I need. So social justice has come to mean something much bigger and greater than about righting a wrong or about equality. Much greater.
Racial justice is really, simply put, about recovering and having respected the humanity we share with everybody else, on this planet. And also to understand true humanity as interconnected with every life on this planet. And so in seeking to gain respect for the human beings that as we are, we're also seeking through us to ensure that there is a humane relationship to every life form and to the entire planet, because ultimately life is sustained by this planet and we need each other in order to actually survive, in this world. So, the misunderstanding that some people have of racial justice as satisfying, only the needs of racially marginalized, people, is completely wrong. It's about ensuring that we reclaim our common humanity and the humane relationship we have to have with Mother Earth and everything else. For me, that is what racial justice actually means. It is completely indivisible, from every other form, of justice. It is an integral part of environmental justice, of social, all other forms of social justice. It is completely indivisible. And it is something that we can only win together. It is not going to take racially marginalized communities winning racial justice as some trophy they can claim from somebody else or some other part of humanity. It has to be something that we bring all of us, to recognize that, once a part of the human family is denied its humanity, that is denial of humanity to every other part, of the human family. And that is denial of, what is expected of human beings in relation to the entire environment. Because if a part of humanity cannot be in harmony, with the rest of the environment, and they cannot be human, and the entirety of humanity cannot be human. So that is what racial justice means to me. And it's about time, people stop misunderstanding it as something to do to just racially marginalized communities. It is a call by racial marginalized communities, those who are conscious and really truly understand what it means, for all of us to be human, not just to each other, but to do the correct thing with the rest of nature, with the rest of the planet, that will make human life and all other life forms to thrive on planet Earth.
This conception of punitive justice, which focuses on the crimes or misdemeanors of the individual, seems to me there's a basic flaw in that approach, in that conception of justice, which seeks to isolate the individual from the political system around them, that says if we just stop that individual thing from happening, then we will all be okay. And it's quite clear that that's not true. The web of interdependency between all of us as individuals, as communities, it requires a fundamentally different approach where we see violence as a manifestation of flaws in the political and economic system we inhabit. We understand the centuries of violence that our system has perpetrated, in particular looking at the continent of Africa, from the slave trade to colonialism to ongoing destruction and exploitation in Africa. And when we understand that, what we all need to move beyond that, to move into a more healthy relationship with each other and ourselves, is a principle of restoration, which begins by acknowledging the truth of what's happening, which begins by acknowledging our complicity in what's happening, and moving away from thinking this is just about preventing harm, to repairing the ongoing centuries of harm, to moving to a different and fairer and juster world. That is the heart of restorative justice, something that must run deep and at many, many levels.